I just got done watching the video of the McDonald's transgendered attack, and really, while that probably had no bearing on why the woman was attacked, all too often I've seen this kind of violence in clubs, and as a taxi cab driver, I saw a lot of it outside of bars. A lot of people just don't like to get involved. As far as the McDonald's employees, I think they should all be fired. McDonald's needs to adopt a corporate policy to train their employees how to diffuse situations such as this. And in this case, the women that were attacking this unfortunate victim needed to be put down. They needed to be, basically held and restrained from any further violence until the police arrived, which I found very, very disturbing that the police didn't show up. I go driving with a tag light out, and within a 2-3 minute period, I'm sure I can come across a cop that's more than willing to pull me over and give me a ticket for it. But in this case, this was a brutal attack that went on and on and on, and obviously had escalated, from a bathroom incident, whatever happened in the bathroom. So at that point, the McDonald's employees did nothing to make this woman that was getting attacked, isolate her to keep her from being further harmed. And I see a lot of good responses to this. People saying that we need to do something, we need to change. I also read some bad comments about it being a race thing or a transgender thing. And all I know is that none of us like to be hurt. And I've been gang raped while serving my country in the Navy. The Navy denies it ever happened because obviously I don't have any video footage like this from 1988. Nothing like that exists. But certainly, getting attacked and getting my face sliced by an ex-con for no reason whatsoever other than he didn't get his crack fixed that day. I've been attacked. I've been assaulted. And I know that when nobody steps in to intervene, it can be a very lonely feeling. It can be a very scary and certainly a very life-threatening feeling that you get. And I think that when people see this kind of thing happening and don't get involved, especially when there are no weapons involved, it shows a blatant lack of character and a lack of respect for even themselves. As I said, the McDonald's employees that were laughing, and at one point I believe they were saying that they could see her poon. I find that to be just vulgar. And if they're not fired, then certainly McDonald's does have to answer for this. Because this woman was attacked in one of their stores. Their employees took the time to get a camera ready on their phone. And I don't know about you, but when I try to set up a video camera, even if Jesus Christ himself came back, it would take me a couple seconds to get the camera up and running on my phone. So for these people to take the time to do that instead of calling 911 or instead of reacting as I would have and taking down these vindictive women that were kicking and hitting and acting basically like animals at that point, I don't see how they couldn't have been restrained by one or more of these employees, and certainly they wouldn't have been held responsible for any sort of injuries or anything to these women if they had just stepped in and helped her. The woman on the ground, I feel so bad for her. I've been in that situation, and for all of you people that think it's race or transgender issue, it's not. It's a human issue. I'm scared. I'm scared that we've turned into a society that would rather film this than help this. And if I'm ever in that situation where I'm being attacked and nobody's coming to my aid again, at that point, I'm not going to turn the other cheek as I have before. I think that protecting oneself is the most important thing that a person can do. And if nobody else is going to do it, then you've got to. But I think this woman that got attacked should own a McDonald's after this. She has a lawsuit that happened in their store, and nobody did anything about it. That manager is an impotent, incompetent boob. And I'm so angry watching his reactions or lack of them. He did try to, say get out and, tried to stop it as far as verbally, but he looks so much stronger than the two women that were attacking that girl. I just think that he should have face planted them onto the floor and held them until the police came. And they did have video evidence of an assault. But unfortunately, the penal system too, the justice system, is to blame also because these girls will probably be arrested. They'll probably go before a judge. They'll probably get probation. The man that assaulted me and sliced my face ended up getting only 5 hours in jail. His name's Robert Clark. He lived in Jasper, Florida, and he goes by the name of Red. And this idiot, I used that word instead of others I could use, uh, he deserved a lot more than 5 hours in jail. He went to the first appearance the next day or that morning while I was still getting stitches, and basically told the judge that it was a domestic issue. And so the judge released him on his own recognizance, even though he was homeless, living in a trailer in a garage that I happened to be employed at as an office manager, overnight office manager. So, getting sliced in the face with a knife is probably the equivalent of getting, attacked in a McDonald's bathroom, in that it came out of nowhere. It was unexpected, and there was no response from anybody else to help me. So at this point, I can relate completely to what the woman went through. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad for our society that we tolerate this. We need to make an example of these people. We need to make an example of the people that worked at the restaurant, and we need to implement some sort of education that this cannot be tolerated, starting at a very young age. Even in third, fourth grade, I remember being bullied, and there was no, recourse then. In fact, we had a vice principal, Mr. Profeta, at Buckingham Elementary School in Bowie, Maryland. Mr. Profeta actually got me and another child, I guess at that point, in his office, and poked me in the chest and told me that I was weak instead of standing up for me. I was wearing braces on my legs and I was being tormented for it, a la Forrest Gump. And of course, back then it was perfectly all right to bully kids. I remember being hung up on a fence by some of the older kids and left there. So this kind of violence and this kind of anger, it stems from bad upbringing, and it stems from people just accepting this. The McDonald's employees that filmed this are a microcosm of what exactly is going wrong with this society. We're not teaching people that there's no cause for this sort of violence or this sort of anger, and we're not punishing the ones that actually do, propagate it and continue to allow it and enjoy it. UFC, that kind of thing. I mean, I don't see the pleasure in seeing two men beat the crap out of each other until blood spilled. If we haven't evolved to the point where we recognize that, there is a level of skill involved in trying to defend yourself, but certainly not for entertainment purposes. I think the people that enjoy that sort of entertainment and live by a creed that that's all they're going to enjoy, they're the ones that are continuing this and allowing this to be a very, very bad part of what makes us human. I don't know what else to say. I've seen a lot of bad responses. Racism and all this stuff will rear its ugly head, any time this kind of situation happens. But I, for one, say that we need to rise up as one and say enough is enough. Enough's enough. We are all in this together. And until we begin to punish the people that do this in a way that befits the cruelty, we put them in a cell and tell them, well, you did something wrong. Here's 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And what does that do? It just makes them angry, bitter. Few people come out of jail feeling like, well, I'm a better person for having been there. So we need to fix this. We need to have some sort of I don't know, a revamping, if you will, of the entire system of justice that allows people that really want to change, that really learn from the mistakes, to have that opportunity, while disallowing people to continue to grow into the more violent and the more rage-filled individuals that might end up taking a life at some point. So God bless you all. I'm just kind of angry this morning about this, and I don't know if anything I say resonates with anybody, but having been a victim of violence myself, as most of you probably are too, all I can say is let's try to fix this damn thing.